This is KTVO's Good Morning Heartland.
And welcome back. It's that time of year when we all start dreaming of warm weather, school is cracking down, and spring break still seems so far away. Those of us at work are getting the winter blahs. And so today we have Dr. Justin Puckett from Complete Family Medicine here this morning to share some medically proven ways for all of us to make it through, be productive, and stay on task. So how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I'm over the winter, even though so far we've had a mild one except the 10 inches that dumped on us a couple weekends ago. But I'm ready for springtime, but I know that I'm also lagging nowadays. And you say that it could be also with a lot of things that we're doing around work, around school, and our just personal time. So what's the number one distraction that you say is getting us into that little funk?
Well, the number one distraction without question is social media. We're all got our Facebook, our Twitter, our Pinterest is all Instagram. It's all going all the time. And so having that constant distraction, that little friend that's right there that's always whispering at you and buzzing at you to try to pull your attention away from either your schoolwork or the work that you're doing at home or on the job can be a real distraction. And so one way that you can really get yourself back into focus for this rest of this winter stretch is to set that aside, turn off the signals, schedule time whenever, hey, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to go check my Facebook, and not let it become that perpetual distraction.
Yeah. So what are some other traps to avoid? Like you just said, setting a time for just doing, Facebook, after you're done doing your homework or after you're done doing something at work. Is there any other things that we can do to avoid those traps?
Well, I think that that really taking the recognizing it for what it is. Another big distraction is email, and for some of the same reasons. And so taking your email box and setting it up so that you don't see every time an email drops in. I know sometimes we're looking for an important email, and so we like to get those constant updates, but the average person gets between 175 and 225 emails a day. Wow. And so that's every few minutes, and it's our nature to, what is it? Do I need to look at it? And, more than 50-60% of the time, at least for me, it's mostly irrelevant to what I'm working on.
Yeah, and I do the same thing when I'm at work. Obviously, I'm waiting for emails with guests and all that stuff. But once I leave the office, unless I know that I'm waiting for a response or an important email, I do not check my work email at all after I leave here. So I think that helps. And
that's good. Good for you. Absolutely.
So, all right, now let's talk about multitasking. I consider myself a great multitasker. I'm constantly doing 15, 20 different things all at once, but you're saying that's really not a good idea.
Well, it's not that it's not so much a good idea if you can well manage it, and maybe you do, but there's a lot of people that they get so many things going that they never really get that sense of accomplishment of finishing any one thing. And so you've got those 15, 20, 30 things going, and maybe you are taking a little bit of step forward, but every time you shift from task A to task B, there's a little bit of cognitive catch-up that you have to do to get yourself back into that task, and then to jump to the next and to keep the cycle going. So actually, if you can identify 2 or 3 important tasks that you need to get knocked off of your long list of multitasks, you're going to do better by kind of focusing in on those, knocking a few out, keeping the list going so that you know what the other tasks are, but able to push on through.
Interesting. And I do keep a list of things that I need to do, that I need to get done, what are my priorities and stuff. So that's a really good tip. Now let's talk about kids in school. I know a lot of them are starting to get in that rut. They want spring break to roll around. They're ready for summertime. So how do they get over that slump?
Well, this is the time of year that we really need to focus on removing the boredom out of our life, because we're not able to go outside and play and do a lot of the things that we normally do, and there's not a lot of different inputs. It's kind of the same old routine between now and whenever spring hits. And so whatever you can do to take out the boredom, and if you do have something boring, schoolwork that's boring, a subject in college that isn't as interesting to you, you're better off to do that whenever you're fresh, so earlier in the day, or doing it right before you have a scheduled something that you enjoy. If you enjoy going to the gym, then doing that more boring task before then. Also, now's the time more than ever to make sure that you're getting that recommended amount of sleep, because sleep can really feed into the whole distractibility and boredom. And then third, making sure that you're well fed, and that you're well fed by not skipping meals, making protein a prime source of your energy, And then also recognizing that there are some other medical conditions that can play into this winter blah stretch. Both depression, anxiety, and even ADHD. So, we kind of discount, we've talked about it here before on air about adult ADHD and about how 50% of the kids who have ADHD will go on to have job skill affecting symptoms. So they're going to have those problems in their adult life that are going to negatively affect their work, either school, in college, or their work on at the work site. And so maybe something that you need to have a conversation with your doctor about.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Puckett. What we'll do is we'll post everything on our website at heartlandconnection.com. We'll also link up Complete Family Medicine's information if you have any questions or concerns. Again, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.